So to me it's always important to at least have some kind of message. And that's why I cannot just write just a random story. You know, I can probably, I can write stories. I could probably write books like Harry Potter. But in a way I don't really like that. Because if I write books like this, what does it mean? You know, people are going to think what's in this book doesn't apply to them. So I have the feeling, if I just write normal books, I cannot make the message as clear as I want. But actually I can, right? I could write a novel, like a story, and I could still, as the like the persona that's telling the story, I could still say, you know, address the audience directly in between. Of course, I've never really thought of that. So when I write books, and that just applies to anything that you're doing, you of course think about, you know, what is the message? Because I think that's the most important thing. Anything that you're doing, it has to have a kind of a purpose. Like, what's the message I'm trying to spread with this? Am I just doing it for whatever reason? To me that would be, for example, meaningless. If it doesn't have a purpose or a message, I rather don't do it. So I know when I create these videos, it's just in order to raise awareness, but also in a way to show, like, just because I'm talking about these matters and I have done all these things, doesn't make me like a saint or something. You know, I still have my own flaws, and I'd rather show them to you than to hide them and act like, you know, I'm perfect in every way. I never eat sugar. I have myself under control. Yeah, I wish. You know, sometimes I just see some old woman, and if she bends in the right way, I just get slightly horny. And then I think, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then I think, well, I'm just bloody horny, so, I mean, what to think of it? It's just, to me at the moment then, something to release tension. Because not masturbating and having this giant task of 170 videos, if I were to masturbate now, it's like, you know, sawing off my leg while trying to run a marathon. So why would I do that? To manipulate myself in such a way. I've always done that. I've always done it. But also because the work that I did, I didn't like it. And now I kind of like it, so I think, why would I still do that? Because I actually like what I'm doing. So I don't get that frustrated anymore. But of course, it's still also a method I have been using for a while now. So it's a solution that I found for feelings of frustration. And then when I'm in my room, it's kind of okay. But sometimes then I look outside and I see a woman walking past. And then, well, I get back to that solution of having sex and just pumping it into someone. But then I can't use it to do these kinds of videos. So maybe then that's the focus I'm talking about. And then the foods that help me to focus, right? I rather eat these to an unhealthy extent than to eat one time of food that makes me lose my focus. So fast food that others prepared, food that contains gluten. So basically anything I didn't make myself, I rather don't eat it. Because I don't know in which energy the person has made it. And I don't know that in which spirit the person has made it, what the intention. Because if the intention is to give, it's something else, but some people, they cook to get. They make a cake so that others eat it and say thank you. And if others eat it and they say nothing, you know, they get a bit angry because they think, well, they didn't even say thank you. So they made it to get and not to give. And that's a big difference. And that's why if people are really desperate for you to eat something from them, maybe it's good to like rather say no, just to set up some boundaries. I'm not eating this for you. If I were to eat this, then I would eat it because I want to, and not because you want to feel good if I eat your stuff. And in that case, I think it's valid to say to eat your shit, because that's then what it would be, because it's bullshit to do someone a favor to eat something so that they can feel happy. It's just completely stupid. And of course I can get angry about this because I've done it too often. Even a couple of weeks back, they were eating raclette, like cheese stuff. And somehow somebody wanted to eat some kind of cheese. I don't know what. I don't really remember what we were eating. But somehow the cheese was missing for one person. And I had the feeling she was insecure about getting that cheese because, you know, nobody else was. And so what did I do? I'm such a bloody idiot. I went to fetch the cheese and then I ate it myself and I fucked up my whole system. So it's that one time you do this stupid act for somebody else, you know. If she doesn't have the balls to get the cheese if she wants it, then why the fuck would I do that? How stupid can you be? And that's why I say, I don't want to do that anymore. Jesus. Like people giving you stuff, not so, you know, because you may want it, and then you say no and they get pissed, or they all keep offering it to you. You say, I don't want it. And the more you ask me, the less I want it. So just, you know, get the fuck off my back. I was only asking. I was trying to be nice. Yeah, sure. You're trying to be nice. To whom? If you were trying to be nice, you wouldn't ask me. Because then you would just leave me the fuck alone and just put the cake there and trusted that if I would want a piece, I would take one. So why do you have to ask in the first place? Of course, sometimes they say there is something if you want, but that's it. But yeah, it's easy. You know, you're trying to help someone. I was always trying to help my dad and thought, you know, if I give him good food, he will like me better and he will be, you know, in a better mood. But he doesn't want that. I can understand it. I want to eat the stuff that I want to eat. But at least I don't complain, you know, around the house. When I eat these sugar things, then it's just what I do in the moment. And yes, sometimes it makes me angry, but just because, not because there isn't other food available, because I don't have the balls to cook it at the moment. So I just eat this shit. And it is shit. It's absolutely shit. It's junk. You don't need it. I'm just addicted. And I'm just looking for excuses. I need the energy. Yeah, right. As if anybody needs that much energy. And that's the other point. I kind of started to like myself with a bit of like fluff around my stomach. So then if I don't eat that much, I feel like I'm getting thinner, and then I feel like I look weak, and then I feel weak. But I think the only thing that feels weak is the shit things in my body that want the sugar, because they're getting weak. So it's actually stupid, because ego like thrives on sugar or something. Like if you eat sugar, you make yourself into an abomination. Like fat and juicy. No. Don't try to be that. Like try to be like your natural self. Like look at pictures from Gandhi. He was skinny, but he was tough as nails. I mean, they couldn't, like, get him to do what he wanted, what they wanted, or whatever. Maybe now I'm losing quality, who knows?